Hi everybody, it's Vicky from RPG Alliance Con. Welcome, and we're just doing some prep for this year's hybrid 2022 convention, running November 18th, 19th, and 20th, with the Friday and the Saturday being our online convention days, and the Sunday being our in-person event here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada at Dickens Pub. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We're excited. I wanted to do a quick video on how to get your game submissions in, as those will be opening up pretty soon. They'll be opening up October 1st and closing November 4th, 2022. So we're just going to start off here at our lovely homepage, and you can see this year we've gone with a logo with a little bit of a cyberpunk feel to it. What can I say? I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk Red and really enjoying it. So it's cyberpunk feel for this year's con. Let's get started. First off, you're going to go to our host tab or menu and click on the drop down box and go down to game runner information, just so you get a lay of the land of how this con is going to be run this year. So again, game runner submissions open October 1st and they will close November 4th, 2022. This year's appreciation benefits are the game runners will get a free game runner pass that lets you play for free all weekend. It also gives you access to the early access period starting October 28th, whereas regular badge holders don't get in until Halloween, October 31st. So you get in, get your pick of the games, and RSVP, so you get to play with your friends and at the games you want. So that's awesome. Our in-person game runners will also get the perk of having their lunch on us at Dickens Pub on that Sunday in-person day. We'll have some dedicated prize giveaways specifically for game runners, and all the game runners will get a special 5th year anniversary thank you gift through our drive-through RPG from us to celebrate the 5th year anniversary, and that's for game runners who actually run a game. So again, just a little thank you to all of you for making this such a fun community for us all. So it's a hybrid convention. So if you scroll down, you'll see our online schedule for the Friday and the Saturday. And as always, each day we'll have about a half an hour social to do some contests and do the giveaways. Our hub will be on our Discord server this year. We're not doing Gather Town because although that was fun and cool and different, it was a hell of a lot of work. And but we're going to go back to Discord being our hub for our online con this year. So as part of your game submission, once it's been approved, we're going to create a voice and a text chat channel on our Discord server so you can start interacting with your players and people can ask you questions about your game and that sort of things. And we like to do that early on so the conversation gets going, especially if you want the characters or your players to create their own characters, and then they can ask you questions and get some guidance in that way. We're going to be doing that for the in-person game as well. Again, just so that everyone's ready to go. And you see the in-person schedule also has an intermission from 3 to 4 p.m. So we can do the social part and the prizes. Safety tools, yeah, you know what? We really are proponents of safety tools. It's part of creating a really respectful and inclusive gaming community, and just another way to keep everyone feeling safe and respected and having just a fun, positive experience. Our default safety tool is the X card. But if you want to use some other safety tool like lines and veils, feel free, as long as some safety tool is present. We're doing something new. Usually we have set charities that we give a portion of all badge sales to. This year we're going to try and do a little bit more because Trevor did such a great job with the role players for the Ukraine in April. I think he raised over $4,000. And so we decided that was a lot of fun. We actually had a huge amount of fun with it in game as well. And we'll be discussing and doing another video on this more. But if you're a game runner and you're interested in doing some, sorry, you're hearing my Discord buzz in the background. If you're interested in doing some in-game charity fundraising, We'll get you more information, but this is some of the suggestions that we found worked really well for role players for the Ukraine. We've got our time zones. Remember, our con's time zone is Mountain Standard Time, and so we have a nice little chart so you can compare and figure out what the equivalent in your time zone is. And then the standard host responsibilities, and just a note about cancellations. Of course, real life comes first, your health comes first. Just some information there on how to cancel your game and inform your players as soon as possible, just so they can sign up for other games if there's time. So that kind of gives you the meat of what you want to know about how the cons run. I think the most important part is the scheduling part, so that you know what time you want your preferred time and your alternative time when you're filling out the form. Have that set up beforehand, okay? Let's go ahead and create a game. So I'm going to go under host menu again and hit the submit events. Now, for some reason, my recording software doesn't show you the drop down menu. But this year we have in person RPG on Sunday, online RPG on Friday and Saturday, and then panels online Friday and Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and do an online RPG game for Friday and Saturday. First, you're going to put the event name. So I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do the expense. Free Lancing the Rings. Gonna check my spelling because I'm a terrible typer. And let's see here. You then have a little short description that you can put in. So, and for mine, I put the ring gates are open, and the crew of the Rocinante need to pay the bills by freelancing. Enter a questionable client corporation with a contract to an unexplored system, but the money is great. So that's my short description. If you click on this little highlighted link, it will open up a space that you can drop in a actual image. And it's really easy to do that because all I do, and sometimes when people submit games, I'll look for an image myself. And so I'll look for an image for the Expanse RPG, usually grabbing one from the publisher's website, and just opening it up in a tab and getting the image link itself, and just posting it there. Well, that didn't work. And you guys are like, what the hell is she talking about? Let's try this image. I'm just doing this all in a different tab. So let's see. Here we go. So, for example, I'm just going to drop in a picture link address. And if I wanted to, I would put a little bit more information there about the game. For example, if I want to, say what year, what ring, where in the string of novels and the timeline for the Expanse this would be in, I could put all that here. But I'll keep going because I know you're probably getting a little bit bored. Now, in this URL slot, you can put either your URL, because I know a lot of you folks are bloggers or podcasters, or you can go ahead and put in the publisher's website, especially if the publisher has a quick start that you want the folks to have. Now, in this case, Green Ronin does have a quick start for the Expanse, and it's free. And so either, I'm going to just pop in that link to Green Ronin's free quick start PDF right there. Some systems or independents, you can go to their drive-through RPG site and pop that into if you want people to have access to that quick start. Let's look at preferred time. So Friday, I'm looking at Friday online. I already know the schedule. I know there is a social between 12 and 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'm thinking my game might go over a little bit over the 4 hour slots that are the standard slots for this year's con. So in that case, I'm going to start my game at 6 for my preferred time. I'll pick 7 p.m. for alternative time. And usually you're going to be picking 4 hours because that's just how the slots are set up in the schedule. But you'll notice that on the schedule, if you do an evening slot, there is a note that says it's a soft stop time. So that means you can go past the 4 hours if you want. So in this case, I'm going to go into the 5 hour mark because what can I say? I like to chat when I run a game and it usually runs over. Yeah. So let's see. Maximum tickets required. I'd say 5. I don't want more than 5 players, otherwise it takes too long. Space is needed. I only need 1 space. And again, tabletop events is geared for in-person cons. So, this is kind of a default for, oh, I need 1 table. If you're doing bulk games, then in person you might ask for 4 or 5. In this context of doing an online game, just stick with the default of 1. Will the event host also play the game? Just stick with the default of no. Do you need to reserve tickets for the attendees? It defaults to 0. If you do have friends that you want to come play, you can definitely put 1 or 2 here. So I'll reserve for 1. And then we ask that you just, leave a message like email the organizers, which are Trevor and myself, at rpgalliancecon@gmail.com with your friends' tabletop events email so that we can set them up with a badge so they can come and play with you. Now we're going to go on to some of the other mandatory settings for TTE. Age range. So I'm not sure if you can see the drop down. I don't think my video software is capturing it. But in Canada, at least in Alberta, the drinking age is 18 plus. And so just keep that in mind if you're doing an in-person game. Obviously, some of these don't apply for online games. But for my game, I like to swear. And so I'm going to keep it at adult 18 plus. I have a question here. Does your start time conform to our schedule? Yes, I've made sure that I booked a nighttime one so I don't have to conform to the 4 hour hard stop. I can go a little bit longer with a nighttime slot. Game system in addition. Well, this is where you would put like Dungeons and Dragons 5e or 4e or whatever you want. The Expanse just has 1e, so I'll just put the Expanse RPG. Another space there to put in a long description. That might be redundant. I might have to go and change that. Minimum player experience. We have absolute beginner, some general experience playing RPGs, or familiar with the system edition, or expert with the system or edition. In my case, I want to have some people that have played RPGs before, so I'm not teaching right from the get-go because that does take some time. So I'm going to put some experience playing RPGs. The minimum number of players, I always have at least 3. My 2 or 1 doesn't work for this system very well because you need to crew a whole ship, right? Maximum players, I'm going to put 5. Anything more than 5 for me just drags on. Then we have, do you understand the Safe Space Code of Conduct? Yes, I agree. I wrote it. Having a safety 2 is mandatory. X card is default. Yes, I agree. If you don't agree or you have an issue with this, please feel free to contact Trevor or myself, either with our email or to direct message us on Discord using the help desk on our Discord channel. And we can have a conversation about any concerns you may have. Okay, so just so you know, we're open to having conversations and just explaining where we're coming from. Generally speaking, it's just about having a way that players can have some agency and letting other people know if there's something that's making them uncomfortable. All right, content and trigger warnings. Expanse does have, space hazards, body horror, violence, adult language. I did put in here, please be a fan of the Expanse so you know the world and characters. So that's just, it's you can put whatever you want in there. Um, your Discord ID, that's private so that we can reach you if we need to message you about any issues with your game, or if on the day of we have a lost player, that sort of thing. So, what is my Discord ID? Let's see. Let me copy it. What is it? We have like multiple Discord IDs and you don't know which one you should be using. Yeah, I know. The struggle is real. Okay. So, all right, I'll just. Okay, so my Discord ID, Game Runner contact email for players. So this is going to be public. It's going to be on your game listing. So make sure that it's a email you are comfortable with. And again, it is not mandatory. It is totally, if you're comfortable, put it down there. But it's a great thing to have. The VTT or online venue name. Now that's just like for me, it's going to be Roll20, and we're going to use Discord for the voice chat. And for my game, I will have no video because I find that slows things down. So, some people like to use Fantasy Grounds, which there's some software that you have to download for that. Some people use the Foundry. Some people haven't played that, maybe uncomfortable with it or uncertain. So it's really good that you just go ahead and put what the names are of where you're going to be running your game. You don't have to put the links to the actual game in this because it is public and you don't want anyone just dropping in and crashing your game. But just give folks, an idea about what you're using. So if they're not familiar with the software, they know what they're getting into and they'll have to have a learning curve of figuring it out, right? Or going and doing a YouTube tutorial, for example, how to use Foundry as a player. The next one is VTT game links. This is where we actually do want your links to your Roll20 game, or your Foundry game, or your fantasy game. Just because this is private, it will be only used for the help desk so that our volunteers can help direct your players to where they need to be, right? So for my case, I'm going to drop in my Roll20 link to my game because if I don't want to sit there waiting 15-20 minutes for lost players, right? And then your drive-through RPG thank you gift email. So that's the email you want us to send your gift for our 5th anniversary. So use the mail that your drive-through RPG account is actually linked through. Again, this is private. Only the organizers and you will see it. Are you streaming? Nope. And is this going to be a charity drive game? So we have 3 options for this. Yes, my game will do player donation incentives through the RPG Con Canada Helps fundraising page. Or 2, no. Or 3, maybe I'll check out the charity drive page and learn more details and contact the organizers if I'm interested. So again, I'm going to choose yes because I want to help some very worthy charities. There's my game runner's responsibilities. Key one here is, again, cancellation, right? We know things happen, or you may not get enough players and you want to do something else with your weekend. We just ask that you let the players know first and foremost using the messaging system in tabletop events. That's one of the reasons we went back with this platform, because it's easy for you to send a direct message to the players going, hey, we didn't get enough people, I'm canceling the game, or hey, I'm feeling sick with COVID, canceling the game. And then just let us, the organizers, know as soon as possible. You can also cancel your event under submit games. So I'll show you that in a second. Once you're okay, click on I agree to the event submission rules and hit create. It will tell you if you missed something by giving you an error, but in this case, I've got the expense freelancing the rings has been added, and you now will have it here in your little list. So that list you can access again under hosts, submit events, and it pops it up. This now tells you the status. It's pending review by Trevor or myself. Your preferred start time on the Friday at 6 p.m. duration. And you can go back into it at any point and hit edit and change things. If I'm like, oh, geez, I'm actually on Eastern Standard Time, so I don't want to start at 6. I want to start at 4, right? So you can go ahead and change it. If you find that this is a game you made an error or you don't want to run this game, you can hit delete. And then we'll ask you, are you sure you want to delete it? And you press OK, and it would delete it. So I will actually press OK. I'll delete it, and then you can see it's removed the event. Now, when your event is accepted and we set it up on the schedule, that delete button changes to cancel. And that's how you would cancel it if you were sick. All right, so gosh, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I was hoping this would be a little bit shorter than it was, but I hope it's been helpful for you folks just to see how to go ahead and submit a game through tabletop events. And we hope to see you at this year's Hybrid RPG Alliance Convention 2022. Should be a good one. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much. Bye.